Welcome to the third podcast of Chasing Logic. A lot of things have changed since the first two. Got a new setup here. I got very bored doing it by myself, so I decided to buy a setup and have some collaboration on this. This is my friend Ryan.
Hey, everybody.
There you go. Wow, nice. That's cool. That's Ryan. I live with him, and he's probably going to be on a lot of these podcasts. So welcome, Ryan.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really glad that you could have me on.
Wow, that's very nice. You live here, so
Yeah.
I mean, I just kind of grabbed you, so thank you for being on.
I'm really available whenever, so
Good.
I'm here.
He's here. Do you want to say anything about yourself before we get going?
I have no introduction for myself. I'll just let this podcast be my little introduction
I like
for
that.
myself.
I like that. All right, so it got me thinking today while I was thinking about podcast stuff and like creating content and whatnot. As like people are moving more toward entertainment, there's less jobs kind of out there with entertainment like this. What's like good productive entertainment for people to watch? Because I think a lot of people do stupid entertainment stuff. I mean, not to hate on video games, love video games, but I mean, realistically, it doesn't really provide anything. So like what source of entertainment do you think's like appropriate for people to listen to that's like a beneficial way of entertaining themselves? If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I really think that the most beneficial form of entertainment would be the one that just brings you the most pleasure. I don't think it really has to be like anything that produces a tangible product at the end of whatever you're doing. Just whatever produces the most happiness to you is really what's most beneficial. It's not for me to say what the best form of entertainment for you is. I know what works for me. It's like for me, I like to kick back. I like to sit on the Xbox, play some video games, or just like catch up on TV and movies that have come out.
I guess at the end of the day, it's entertainment,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, I guess it's kind of the way to unwind. But I guess what I'm going with the question is like, there's going to be less and less time for people to like work per se with technology getting better. Just there's going to be more people without jobs, even with more people coming in. I mean, it's just going to be impossible. Unemployment rate has never not been an unemployment rate because probably jobs have had their threshold and now there's too many people, right?
Right.
So, like, what are people supposed to do? Like, you can't just be doing stuff for, like, joy all the time. Like, where's the... I don't know. Should people be, like, striving for something, or is it just how much joy they bring to you in their life or to people? And I guess it's sharing joy, too, is kind of the other half of it as well.
Right. That just really comes down to your goals. Like, what are you trying to get out of your life? What do you want to kind of have a lasting impact? And if you want to do that, then you should try to do something more tangible and try to kind of have an impact on something. But if you aren't concerned with kind of like anything like that, then you should just really focus on yourself. And because really at the end of the day, you're all you got. So why not try to take care of yourself the best you can?
Well, I think a lot of people don't know how to best take care of themselves, too. I mean,
Yeah,
if everyone
agreed.
could do whatever they wanted, I mean, it would be, life's hard sometimes. You know, you can't just always take the easy route out. So it's like education still has to be a big part of it, right? So maybe just a lot of different forms of entertainment in the form of education so people can learn as much as they can so that they can provide as much as they can within themselves because they're learning about stuff, what needs to happen, what things we're lacking, all this stuff. I think a lot of people get wrapped up in like, I don't know, a salary or I don't know, position or just like an overall sense of like, I don't know, accomplishment, I guess. And I don't know how people would feel that. So education
Right.
would be one of my things that like would be the most beneficial.
That's the thing with the way that the U.S. American public education is set up. It's not really designed for you to get enjoyment out of it. It's kind of a way to, in a way, prepare you for life outside of high school, whether you decide to pursue college education or pursue a trade job or whatever you want to do post high school. So there's no real enjoyment coming from your K through 12 education. It's more just preparing yourself or hoping to get yourself prepared. So, in a lot of people, I feel like that sense of wanting to learn is kind of killed in a way through our public education system, because it's all based on grades and scores and how well you do. So people are worried about that and not really taking in the material that they're being taught and finding enjoyment through that.
I mean, yeah, bring up a lot of good points. I mean, so how do you make kids enjoy learning more? I mean, obviously, I think a lot of kids would probably think this, that a lot of the stuff they teach in school is probably not super necessary to learn. It's just kind of like a standard type deal. And I guess they standardize tests, so it's kind of part of the learning curriculum. But like, how do you get more enjoyment out of learning? How does that work? Just tailor it more towards students? I mean, if they know what they want more, just feed them what they want to hear. And
there should be less of a rigid structure to it. So let's just say you have your child, and your child is very passionate about the arts. Let them take more classes kind of geared towards that. Whereas like really you're only allowed like 1 or 2 electives like a semester to really kind of pursue that. And like you maybe have a choice in what you really can do. So if your child knows at a certain point, like let's just say like 9th grade, once they hit 9th grade and they have a general idea of like, they're kind of discovering who they're becoming and what kind of person they want to be. So at that point, let them kind of gear their education towards themselves instead of telling them what they should learn, and kind of let them learn about what they want to know.
So I guess here's the next thing that I'm kind of getting towards also, is that we all go to school. We only have a finite amount of teachers per our region, and it needs to be digitalized so that kids have access to the best teachers no matter where they are. I mean, no matter what part of town they're from, just kind of like almost standardize the best education. I don't know who decides that. I don't know if like there's a teachers union who can like decide on the best way to teach kids, the best teacher, delegate people to teach certain subjects. But I mean, that's where it's got to go. It's got to go digital.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like the way that things are now, like we have programs like, or sites like Khan Academy, where they have all these free programs on there, and kids can learn about whatever subject they want. They can, in a way, kind of be tutored by it and self-teach themselves in a way through these websites.
Self-teach themselves.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Lost my train of thought there.
I'm sorry, yeah. But they can self-teach themselves through, like different things online. But yeah. I mean, it's got to be that. It's got to be that.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think the reason why the joy gets taken out of some of these kids is because it's like the teachers aren't the best. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember half my teachers weren't that great, right? I mean, and we came from a good school. I mean, I can only imagine where other schools are that are like worse. Not that we've had a bad schooling or anything like that. I mean, our teachers weren't the worst or anything, but I mean, teachers that had an impact on me, it's far from normal.
I can name 2 teachers that really had an impact on me. And it's just because they kind of showed like an actual interest in myself. And in a classroom of like 20 to 30 kids, it's tough for every teacher to be able to connect with each and every individual student. So in a way, if you can minimize the class sizes, but then at that point you're hiring more teachers, and the school districts already don't have enough money to keep the kids like properly. Yeah. I don't want to say entertained, properly supervised in a way.
Yeah, more tailored to them, more personal. That's a good point. That's a very good point. That was a pretty hard-hitting question, like the first one. And you thought there's going to be more introduction, but we're going to take it as that. Education, yeah. And Ryan's a pretty smart guy. That's why he's on here. Education, though, man, that's the key. I mean, to everything. You got to educate yourself into knowing what works for you, how to live a healthy lifestyle, and some people don't even know how to do that, so they can't live healthy, a happy life. People are depressed, which, you know, that's an animal in all in itself. It's a lot mental with that, but I mean, I think a lot of people could benefit from a lot of things they could learn about being healthier and happier, to kind of combat that. And I think that would combat drug use and all this type of stuff, because people overcompensate and people want to feel good, without I don't know, working to feel good.
There's also a subset of people that they don't want to learn things. They're kind of content in their own little bubbles, just believing whatever they want to believe, and they have no desire to pursue any form of education besides like whatever they're given. They're just happy in their own little world. So how are we able to reach out to these people and kind of instill this desire to want to better themselves and just learn about the world around them?
Yeah, that's a struggle. That's a struggle.
I can like probably like 10 to 20% of the kids in our high school, I feel like just really had no desire to really be there for school. Again, I'm pulling that number out of my ass, so
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But some people just do not have any desire to want to learn about what's going on around them, and it's like I feel like I have this passion where it's like I'm always reading stuff online, trying to like learn about what's going on in the world, what's going on around me, how is this going to affect me. But some people just are either ignorant, they don't want to know, or it's bizarre, dude. I don't get it.
And if something's giving you joy and you keep doing it and it keeps bringing you joy, why do anything else? Kind of the whole entertainment aspect, right? If you don't have to do anything else, why would you? Yeah.
It's a weird spot to be in.
And like, so then it goes back to like, maybe you should just help yourself, because you can't help everybody, because everyone's not going to have. So the people who have this internal drive, this internal motivation to be better, or even if it's a cocky aspect, want to be better, they're able to kind of stomp out people who don't try. And I don't know if that's the picture of success, somebody who's really driven, or someone who's kind of obsessed with something in a way to the point where, you know, maybe it becomes lucrative for them or something like that. But it's, yeah, then people get selfish when they realize they can't help everybody.
Right.
Not that people even try to help people. I mean, that's giving people the benefit of the doubt. I try. I don't succeed sometimes, but
None of us succeed
try.
all the time.
All right.
It's just a difference in mindset. Some people just have a very short-term state of mind where they're just worried about like, what's the next thing? What am I doing next?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just how am I going to like get that next dopamine hit, instead of really trying to like progress themselves in the long term.
Yeah. Okay, well then, you try to read, you try to learn up on things, in your spare time, to try to learn the best ways to do things.
Are you doing anything right now? Are you pursuing any studies right now?
Well, this podcast thing has been a little bit new. Third episode in, getting the fancier equipment here, so it's kind of forcing myself to keep going with it. So that's a little side hobby, and because I think it's important to, I don't know, share ideas, and I think it's cool that, you know, everything's kind of moving to the internet. Eyes are on the internet, and it's kind of cool to be able to put your own, you know, footprint in the internet and kind of share ideas, because it's easier to do that now than ever, you know, for people to share their ideas and have them get listened to. So I think it's cool to have people who are smart and respectable and can provide some kind of maybe connection with somebody out there. Something that we're saying could hit them and be like, okay, cool. This is gonna, you know, help me going forward. Which is kind of why I wanted to do this podcast in the first place. I know I was kind of preachy with my first couple. It's a lot easier to have a guest on here and not talking to yourself sounding like an idiot. But so yeah, I think that's what I'm doing. To answer the question, yes, I'm doing like, you know, side projects like this, going to the gym, keeping myself healthy. We're going tomorrow. And yeah, and working, and then trying to keep up with friends. And I guess a lot of the time is like it's hard to have enough time to do everything that you want to do. And
Right.
it's, how much time do you delegate to certain things? And, you see things like sayings like, oh, just say no when you don't want to do stuff. Like, do your thing, do what's going to be the best thing for you. But it's hard. There's always temptations out there and always a need to connect with people that is good. Which is
Right.
I don't know. I
I
wish
don't
I had
have
more
that
time.
issue.
I wish I had more time. I wish I had more time for sure.
I have no problem telling people no.
Yeah.
I prioritize my own like mental health way too much to like force myself to be in situations that I don't want to be in.
And that's great. That's why I kind of admired you, because
Yeah.
it's like you are unequivocally yourself, and you don't really need to people please per se. You're yourself, and if people like that, that's good. I like to people please. I think people, in college, people would think I'm kind of fruity because I'd go up to people and be like, oh, like, hey, like, how you doing? Like, I'm
Very
Chase.
animated.
Animated, yes. Animated, energetic, personable. And that's why it's good to have people on here as well. I'm not weird. I'm not that weird. Okay. All right. See, it's tough to do I need to educate myself on how to do more productive stuff for myself, how to manage my time better, how to there's always stuff. Like I went to like the supplement store today. We won't put any brands out there. And I got creatine because, I'm going to the gym. It's like, it's wintertime, right? And I don't even really know what creatine is. So I deferred to you. I'm like, all right, Ryan's kind of smart. Should I take this now? Like, what's going on with it? And like, yeah, you should. But it's like, I'm buying something that I'm not even educated on to do something that I hope works based off of people's word of mouth and friends doing it maybe. And it's like, yeah, people make decisions that are uneducated all the time.
Well, word of mouth is the most powerful tool that companies have.
All right.
If you hear one thing from one person and they tell their friend, the word gets down the line. And your friends are one of your most trustworthy sources of information.
Yeah.
So you're going to take their words to heart pretty much. And if you get one person to bite, you don't know the effect that's going to have on the whole range of people.
Yeah. Word of mouth. So it's influences. It's what you experience is kind of what is the word of mouth. So I asked you and you told me something. But word of mouth is probably and you told me about the creatine. You're like,
right,
yeah. Whatever. So I'm dumb. I'm gonna get fucking huge, obviously. That's why we're taking the creatine, boys. Switch gyms. That's big. Not that anyone cares, but again, this is my time to talk.
You're now entering a judgment zone.
Yeah.
It's not judgment free anymore.
Again, we won't drop any brands.
No free sponsors.
But fuck the no judgment.
Yeah.
Because, all right. I don't like to judge people. But here's also something. So as I'm talking about hanging out with friends and doing stuff that's, not what I maybe should be doing all the time, and I'm thinking about influences on you and word of mouth and stuff like that. God damn it, where was I going with this? But yeah. Influences. Judgment. Free zone. So when you're at Planet Fitness, right? It's a no judgment.
No free sponsors.
No free sponsors. Gonna cut that out. Yeah. When you're there at a no judgment zone, like the gym that I used to go to, we were surrounded by people who maybe didn't judge themselves the best. I mean, or maybe they're on a budget or whatever it is that they have. But it's you go to this other gym and there's more stuff to do. There's more equipment. It's a little bit more expensive, but the people around you are much more fit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it almost pushes you to be well, I don't want to be the last person in this gym. I want to get myself to a point where I can blend in with these guys because they're...
Exactly.
So judgment's good in a way.
You need other factors around you to kind of push you. It's very tough to keep all of your motivation and discipline within yourself. Sometimes you need those outside factors to give you an extra push. As much as people that I admire, like David Goggins, he is very self-motivated and disciplined.
Free sponsor.
David Goggins is great.
He's great.
He can do everything based off his own mindset.
Right.
He doesn't need any other motivations besides his own will to go out and achieve what he does. And that's why I look up to that man, because he's so self-driven, and I wish I was more like that myself.
So we started this podcast saying, entertainment, something, and maybe this life is about bringing ourselves joy, as much joy as we can. There's a guy like David Goggins who's so mentally sharp and so, focused and driven on what he wants to do. But does he get that joy? Do you think he's really happy at where he is? I mean, given that mindset,
I feel like that man's miserable all the time. He's always putting himself in uncomfortable situations. Like he says in his book, find comfort in the uncomfortable. Now, as to whether he's finding joy from that, that's a whole nother story. But we know that man's putting himself in new territories almost every day.
The ringer. Yeah, the ringer.
But if that's what brings him pleasure, because before he started to get himself in shape, he was a fat piece of shit.
He was. And not only that, but he, looked up to these guys who were beasts. He was like, these are the men among men, and I want to be the man. I want to be the people. I want to take people's souls. I mean, he says it a lot, right? So it's like, that's really cool. Maybe that's what gives him the ultimate satisfaction, is being like, I'm the baddest motherfucker out here. Like, you can't outdo me. Like, I'm going to kill myself before I let you beat me at this or that. And maybe it's super competitive. Maybe it's just a self-driven thing, but if everyone was that crazy, would that be a better society? If everyone was not crazy, he's my boy. He helps, and it's
he
a
is
mindset.
Kind of crazy,
right? It's a mindset, though, right? Like
yeah.
it's this mindset that he has that's so laser focused on accomplishing the thing that he wants to accomplish. It's don't stop. It's stay hard. So, yeah,
I don't think anyone should try to replicate what David Goggins does, because he does it almost on like a psychotic level.
Right.
But you can take some of the qualities that he has and try to instill some of those in yourself, just not nearly to the same level.
Right.
This man, he shit himself while he was doing a 100-mile race in 24 hours.
Yeah.
There's this little old Asian woman, and she was just power walking along, maybe moving like 4 miles an hour the whole time. And he went out there, guns blazing, running out as fast as he could. And then I forget exactly how far into the race. Let's just say like halfway. He was done. He had like nothing left in the tank. And he's just walking. He's like, can't do it anymore. But he just kept on pushing. And eventually he just shits himself in the middle of the race on this little track, like outside of high school.
I know. I remember reading it or listening to it or whatever.
That story is incredible. Like, that's just pure dedication. Like, he knew what goal he had in his mind. He wanted to do I believe it was the ultra marathon or something like that.
And he needed to
needed to qualify in doing this 100-mile race.
Yeah.
And he went out and got it.
And like I remember hearing, he was like, I can't stop or else my whole body's gonna lock up.
Right.
Like I can't like stop running. So he kept he kept it up for like the last, again, I'm pulling this out of my ass, but I think it was like 25 miles or something like that. Like he was done, like 75 miles. He was almost like crawling. And then something came over him where he was like, screw it. Like I'm just gonna, I can't stop. And then when he was done, he went and he shit himself. And then he like vomited like black sludge after that because he was so dehydrated.
He was pissing blood too.
Yeah.
He had rhombosis or something like that. Rom something.
That's exactly what you need.
Your muscles are literally breaking down into your bloodstream and it's coming out in your urine.
And
he got hospitalized for that.
He should.
Yeah.
He should. But that's because his mind was stronger than his body at that point in time, which is scary too, in a way. I mean, you gotta take care of yourself, but yeah, you can take a lot from that though. Keep pushing, stay hard.
Inspirational story. Stay hard.
Stay hard. You don't have to run 100 miles to stay hard, but
no. I'll never run 100 miles. Never.
Let's try to bike 100 miles. That's easy, right? Not
What's
easy.
something that we could realistically do? Like, what's a realistic goal that's actually, like, impressive that we could try to accomplish?
I want to run around Valley Forge, which is like 8 miles,
You could do that right now if you wanted to.
maybe.
I know you could.
But I just want to jog the whole time, like nonstop, and like the hills, the terrain. It'd be a challenge. That's like my next thing on my list.
Right.
But now it's cold now. It's cold now. It doesn't mean
It
I
is
can't
cold.
do it. See, mental toughness. I
Mental
remember
toughness.
seeing a video of fucking David Goggins. He's like running in the rain. He's like, this guy like wanted to rain, or he wanted to run today, and we were going to run 12 miles today. This guy I met down here, he said he wanted to run. Then he was like, oh, it's raining today, so maybe we can do it tomorrow. Well, you know what? I'm getting my 12 in today, and it's like running, it's raining out. It's like
I'll run with you tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna run with you tomorrow. Yeah, I'm 12 miles ahead of this motherfucker. Yeah, stay hard.
He's a crazy dude.
All right, we're going to Valley Forge. Gonna run an 8.2.
I want to join the 1,000-pound club.
That's your next
You know what that
achievable
is?
goal. Yeah, it's like the 3 or 4
Deadlift,
power
bench,
lifts.
squat. 1,000 pounds adds up to that.
It's only 3.
Yeah.
I remember in high school we did the 1,000-pound club, and there was power clean in there too.
Fuck the power clean.
I agree.
I want to do it with just those 3.
So if you're saying to do it with those 3,
It's pretty much like 4-plate deadlift, 3-plate squat, 2-plate bench. Essentially.
yeah. I think you'd be deadlifting like over 3.
It's going to be like 405, 315, 225.
All right, let's get there.
Yeah. That's the goal.
When does that happen? Like, what's the time frame?
Realistically, it's going to take a while for me to get there.
Right.
Because I also want to cut weight right now first. So it's going to take me a while.
I don't think you necessarily, when you say cut weight, I don't think you necessarily need to. I mean, working out a lot and getting stronger is you're gonna be burning up energy and calories and doing that and gaining muscle. You're not losing weight per se, but I think you're losing fat doing that.
Yeah,
So,
no,
like,
it's possible.
if you were to just go hard, like go hard at the gym, and get your muscle mass up too, you might be, breaking even with, calories in, calories out. But I don't know.
I need to do more research into it, but
That's
definitely one of my long-term goals.
I also heard, and I'm not an expert in anything, so don't but I also heard that the more muscle you have, the more like fat you burn up when
Correct.
you're doing things. Right. So I mean, just gaining muscle in itself is a catalyst for potentially burning more fat.
Your body needs to fuel those muscles in order for them to do what they want to do.
Correct.
So you're going to, in a way, you're just going to burn more calories if you have more muscle.
Going fucking hard, baby. 2 days. Cardio in the morning, less at night. Nah. But
That would be crazy though.
No. But this, like, what's the ultimate goal? Like, is that the goal right now? Is that like you want to spend all your free time on dedicating yourself on being where does that rank amongst the goals list? Is there anything that ranks higher than that? What becomes precedent?
Number one is really just taking care of my overall health, just because family history isn't too great in that regard. We're all fat pieces of shit.
There you go.
So
They're
I
nice
kind of
people.
want to stray away from the family tree a little bit, let that apple roll down the hill. And I just want to be like a person that my future children will be able to look up to and admire in a way. I don't want to be 300 pounds and just collecting a paycheck every 2 weeks.
No.
I want to show my children that there's more to life than just a job, and you're able to go out and do things that you want to do. Go out and achieve what you want to achieve. And right now, my goal is I just want to get strong. I want to get lean. And hopefully I get there eventually.
Yeah. That's the goal. That's the goal.
Like my dad, he has diabetes. He had a triple heart bypass, triple gastric bypass, something in his heart. 3 chambers were messed up, and he had to get like 3 chambers in there messed up. I don't understand the medical mumbo jumbo, but you get the gist of it.
We're not experts.
And I just don't want to see that be me. I don't want to have to go through that stuff. So I'm in a position now where I have time to be able to try to prevent that as much as I can. It's kind of a scary thought when I think about it too much. So I don't like to think about that.
I know. And it kind of sucks. We're young, but we're in the mid-20s now. We're approaching our peak. And what I think when I'm going to the gym or when I'm doing my things, I'm like, this is kind of the last chance to really get myself to a place physically that I can never get back to again. Like, it's like you almost need to take advantage of this youth in a way, because you're not going to be able to do some of the things later on. I mean, obviously you can keep getting better, and David Goggins can do everything better than me. And I'm sure he's improved, even though he's probably well into his 40s now. Right? I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I think he's in his 40s.
Yeah. But I mean, he's still doing crazy shit.
Even one of our friends' dads, he's doing like Ironmans and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not like he was doing that when he was in his 20s or anything
That's
like
very
that.
true.
Not that I know of. But
very true.
right now, our potential is at its maximum.
Mm.
But doesn't mean that we're going to be at our maximum right now. You can reach your maximum at any point in life. You just have to put into work and dedication in order to achieve that.
Yeah. 100%.
You just have the greatest potential right now.
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
So that's what I was getting at kind of too. Is like, I'm never, potentially this is the most I can get right now. So might as well get as much as I can out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, mentally, got to keep getting stronger.
That's the big thing. A lot of people are mentally weak.
Right.
They just want to take the easy way out. And whether that's because of just the way things are nowadays, everything's a click away, or you don't have to cook a meal. You can go through the drive-thru. You get whatever you want at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
There's a very short sense, a very fast turnaround on gratification nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So things that take a while and require a lot of work and dedication to achieve, people are kind of turned off by that because they don't see the feedback right away. They don't get that reward. They don't get that dopamine hit.
Yeah.
So there's a grind in order to achieve what these people want to achieve, but they might start off strong for like a week or two on whatever their goal is. But then that feeling just kind of gradually fades away.
Well, they don't see those results.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I mean, I've been trying to do a podcast for a lot longer than I should have been. So, I mean, it's just me saying, I don't see any results from this thing right now. Like, it's like, why do it when only 30 people are viewing it? It's like, why, oh, great. I actually got less views on this video. Like, why the fuck am I still doing it? But it's, you got to keep at it. You got to keep doing it.
That's all it is. You're just perfecting your grind right now.
Yeah.
Like, whose first podcast was their best podcast ever? Nobody. You got to keep on. You got to keep at it. You got to keep at it. You got to keep on perfecting your grind. And eventually, you'll get to where you want to be.
You hope.
You hope.
You do hope.
Yeah.
But Dee's never going to be an actress.
Dee's never going to be an actress.
No, she's not.
Stupid bird.
Dumb bird. Get them on a podcast. Anyone. Always Sunny. Come on.
Glenn Howerton. If you're out there listening by any chance, hey. I say hey.
And Rob McElhenney.
I don't know how to say his name, so that's why I left him out.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to keep him in.
Yeah.
Because he knows some dedication. He drank. You know what he did to get so fat? His secret.
Didn't he drink ice cream?
He drank ice cream because he hated eating so much.
Yeah.
And he was like, how do I get calories fast without, having to suffer through it? And then he tried eating ice cream, and I was like, damn, it's too fucking cold. So you just leave it out and drink it. It's great. It's probably a great milkshake. Oh, God.
I would love to do that right now.
No,
but I can't. I can't.
I've almost I like my sweets, but not like that. And like, it's not, that wouldn't be enjoyable for me.
You're still getting that sugar rush.
Like the first like 4 or 5 sips maybe, but it's like that's still kind of like sheesh. But anyway, shout out to him, and then he lost it all and became as shredded as I've ever seen anybody. Like so
incredible,
so shredded.
Crazy what you can achieve when you just have to work out. That's your only priority.
That's our only priority. We have to do it now.
I have a 9-to-5 job. I got to put food on the table for myself. I got to pay rent. I got a car payment.
Yeah, all that sucks.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
Oh, that sucks.
They're keeping me busy to keep me from doing what I want to be able to do, which is terrible.
Man, could you imagine having a kid?
No.
That'd be
not right now. Like, not at all.
I'm a kind of person, and I hope I do have kids. I'm a kind of person who would that kid would be the only thing. And I guess that's kind of how it has to be. That kid's like the only thing, like your main time consumer for the 10 years plus, obviously. But 10
but then
years
you have baseball practice, football practice, music lessons, whatever they're involved in. Yeah,
it never stops.
It literally never stops. Once they hit 16 and they get their driver's license, maybe you can kind of let them start doing their own thing. But you're still taking them everywhere they need to go up until that point.
But our parents, not our parents specifically, but in that generation, they had kids way younger. And that took away a ton of their free time to get blue collar or, just jobs in general. And it's do you think that took away some of the, I don't know, having kids earlier? I don't know. Is there a benefit to that or not, is what I'm trying to get at. Do you think it's better to have a kid earlier or later? I mean, bias is some of it, but maybe it teaches people responsibility right when they have it, or the opposite, they're not responsible and the kid ends up suffering from that.
I feel like I'm kind of thinking at this in a way from let's just say you raised a kid in the 1960s versus today in 2021. Mm-hmm. A lot of them were getting married at an earlier age, having children at an earlier age. And it kind of the parents lose their sense of identity, because I feel like at this point is when I'm really kind of discovering who I am. Mm-hmm. And at that point, they become this person's father or mother. And that's just who they are for the next 18 years at least. I guess for the rest of the children's life. But at this point, we're really kind of discovering who we want to be. And I feel like that's why we're seeing less people getting married, because we are becoming more individualized in a way. We're, I don't want to say more unique, but we know what we want in a partner, or who we want to be our child's partner as their mother or father. So we're almost becoming more picky in a way. It's a weird situation.
It's a weird situation. It's a really weird situation. People are getting more freedom now than ever, and it's weird how that affects the decision of people, because I don't want to say our generation has gotten more lazy, but it's we have the technology enabled for us to kind of be lazy in a sense. You don't have to drive over to someone's house to hang out with them anymore. You can play video games with them. You can do, a bunch of different things when you're a kid. So it's it's more convenient, and that kind of just rubs off. And maybe it's just we're doing things that are more convenient. We're staying comfortable. We're doing the things that, full circle.
Goes back to what I was saying earlier when I was saying the instant gratification thing.
All right.
Instead of going out, a lot of things are very digital nowadays, you were just saying. And it's you lose that face-to-face value. At least for me, interacting with someone digitally doesn't feel the same as interacting with them in person.
For sure.
So you lose whatever that feeling is. I can't find the right words for it.
just like genuine connection, just like genuine, just like seeing is believing kind of. And it's like, sure, seeing behind a screen's one thing, but we all know that movies aren't necessarily real, and we see that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like seeing it in real person, like in real life, is what really drives you, because you can see it in motion. I would love to see David Goggins and run with him and be like, damn, this dude is a fucking nut.
He's going to tell you to quit being a little bitch and keep
Yeah,
up.
that sucks, and I'm almost scared of that. But it's like, you can't with that guy. Anyway, yeah. All right. Well, again, this has been great. Ryan, thank you for joining the show. It's been really good talking to you, and I think we got a lot of just kind of things like off my chest and kind of like hit some questions. And I don't know if we got any answers, but we got some questions. We got ourselves thinking, and it's up to you really to determine what you want to do in your life here, people. You know, nothing's impossible. Anything's possible. And even a podcast. I have my own podcast. That's possible. And Ryan's here now with me on the show, and smart guy. So everyone, round of applause here for Ryan. Thank you. Wow, that was a big one.
That was huge.
That was a big one.
I'm honestly shocked that I got that kind of reception my first time around.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I feel loved by the audience. Thank you.
Dude, they might even like you more than me. All right, cool.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Great. Well,
not to show you up on your own show, but
you know, it's the first guest. He's supposed to make these shots. I'm going to be here no matter what. You're interchangeable.
Yeah, I am replaceable.
But he's going to be on here a lot. So again, Ryan will be joining us. He's great. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Chasing Logic. And questions, topics for next time. Just comment it and just we'll talk about it. And it's going to be great. Whatever you comment down below, we'll talk about it. How about let's just get that out of the way. So if you even feel inclined to comment, just do it. Just comment and we'll talk about it and it'll be great. All right. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.
Thank you.
Subscribe. Oh.